All righty, here we go. Brand new Flyers Daily for the 6th of December, 2024. Flyers Daily, presented by Ticketmaster. Make more memories live. Let's recap what we saw last night. What a wild game. The game, kind of put me through. I wonder if you guys feel this way as well. Put me through, the range of emotions as a sports fan. It was down 2-0. Okay, they look rusty. It's not going to be their night. Get back on the beam Saturday against Boston. Then start the second period. Okay, now you're down 3-0. Okay, that belief is now furthered. And this game is not going to be one where they're competitive tonight against the Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers. But then all of a sudden in the second period, boom, 2 goals. You get it within 3-2. The first one in the second period, scored by Tyson Foerster, a power play goal, after I'd already written down in my notes in this episode, I wanted to talk about the power play being powerless, which we'll get to. But Foerster ends up with the power play goal. Farabee and Mishkov with an assist. And then Nick Seeler with just an unbelievable play coming forward on a pinch on the left side of the offensive zone and gets the stick shaft down on the ice, gets the puck, and then is able to beat Spencer Knight. Now the Flyers are within 1. They're down 3-2. 9:31, basically midway through the hockey game. But then Florida goes on the power play again, and it's Carter Verhaeghe who restretches the lead to 4-2. And now the Flyers are back down 2. And you're going, okay, got within 1. Florida's just going to kind of keep you at arm's length the rest of this game, and that's going to be what it is. But Flyers, the Frost, Tippett, Mishkov line has an epic shift. And they scored 2 goals in 23 seconds. At 17:41, Tippett gets the first one. Just absolutely beautiful shot, bar down. Beats Spencer Knight, high on the blocker side. And then Owen Tippett again. Great support from Frost on the zone entry. And Michkov ends up with the assist to Owen Tippett, who gets 2 goals in 23 seconds. Now you got a 4-4 game. And you're going into the third period after being down 3-0, down 4-2. Now you're tied at 4. Going into the third period. Goaltending was shaky in the game. I'll talk more about that in a moment. So nothing felt safe, but you go into the third period, then you get a goal from an unlikely source. Third goal of the season at 5:39 from Garnet Hathaway. Now, Garnet Hathaway has had some great scoring chances in his last 5 games. Just hasn't been able to convert. Here he converts because he's crashing the net. Lawton's crashing the net. Ristolainen doing good work down low again. Picks up an assist. Now all of a sudden, 6 minutes into the third period, the Flyers are up in the game. But then Gustav Forsling picks up a goal at 14:43 to get it tied. And this goal bothers me because it was a lack of, in my opinion, a lack of mental engagement from Alexei Kolosov. Now, this puck is coming high in the Flyers zone. And it's out by the blue line. It's kind of a nothing burger of a setup for Florida. Not much is happening. They're not forechecking. They're not setting anything up. But as Forsling is circling at the high in the Flyers zone, he just sends a shot to the Flyers net. And Kolosov picks it up late, and it ends up beating him. Now, this is one of those moments that's a difference between being a goalie in the KHL and being a goalie in the NHL. And he'll learn from it. And these things happen. But in the NHL, you got to keep tracking that puck and trying to find where it is on the blade of a stick so you can see it at release in case a player does what Forsling did and throw it at the net. Because they'll do that in the NHL. In the KHL, they'll just keep skating the damn thing around. And they'll just try and work their way inch closer to the net. In the NHL, they'll throw pucks at the net. They throw this one there. And because he's not bared down on finding a release point as the play is migrating out high in the zone, now he picks it up late and he's beat. And it looks bad. And it's a bad goal. That's a bad goal. You got to stay more mentally engaged. When that puck's in the zone in the NHL, you got to stay mentally on it. Can't get away with that in the NHL. And he doesn't here. And it's a big goal because it ties the game at 5 at 14:43. Then at 18:01, undisciplined play by Joel Farabee. I get you want to stick up for your teammate, and I defended Farabee in yesterday's episode quite a bit. But you have to recognize the spot. It was a dirty hit that Forsling put on Travis Sanheim. The numbers are showing right to Forsling. He hits him from behind. It's a dangerous play. And I get Farabee wants to come into the defense of his teammate, but you end up taking a penalty. And you've already given up 2 power play goals at that point, and now you're going to give up a third and the go-ahead goal to Sam Reinhart. You're going to play that team again. If you want to exact a little revenge, do it in that situation. Don't do it in a game where you've already given up 2 power play goals and a game that the outcome is still to be determined, and one where you've battled back down 3 goals, down 2 goals, and you had the lead. Now it's tied. You can't do that there. That was Joel's emotion getting the best of him. You can't do that. Bobby Brink took a dumb penalty too, interfering along the blue line on another play, which there was no reason to do it. Sometimes you look at a penalty, you go, okay, sometimes it's just not moving my feet. I'll get a hook in there. I'll trip. I'll get a slash. Those things happen. But there's some that are nonsensical. Like the Brink one was a nonsensical one. And this is kind of the emotions that I'm talking about watching this game. Felt like the game was never going to be really a game. And then now all of a sudden the Flyers had a lead. But then Forsling scores on a lack of concentration goal for Alexei Kolosov. Sam Reinhart scores on a power play that was a lack of discipline to cause it. Now you give up 3 power play goals. And then eventually at 1949, Matthew Tkachuk into the empty net, power play goal. And Florida comes away with a 7-5 win. And I felt like the goaltending was off all night, really on both sides. But on the Flyer side, you could see there was a lack of intensity in the goaltending tonight. And you could see it when the goaltenders went out of the net to play pucks. They were indecisive. They just kind of were meandering out there. There was not enough intensity and urgency. It felt off. Now, why didn't Sam Ersson play? We heard at practice the day before that he was cleared, and I was surprised he didn't play. Did he have a setback? Is Sam Ersson going to play tomorrow in Boston? Now you have a back-to-back this weekend. How do you deploy your goalies? Does Sam Ersson play Saturday? And then who gets the start on Sunday? Fedotov was pulled, gave up 2 goals that obviously the coaching staff didn't like in the first period. I didn't love either. And then Kolosov came in, didn't have a great account of himself either. So who plays on Sunday? And it's like how quickly things can change in the NHL. We talked about this yesterday. The notion of Kolosov and Fedotov playing great. Is it time to shop Sam Ersson? Well, all of a sudden, you don't feel as good today about your goaltending. It's the recency bias of one game, but again, it's a small sample size of what they've done total. So, if Ersson comes back on Saturday, I don't even know who plays on Sunday at this point. I'm not playing Ersson in back-to-backs. I'm not doing that when he's just getting back from injury. That's silly. But I got to play Fedotov or Kolosov. Which one am I picking to play based on the performance of their last game? I'd probably go back to Fedotov. That's probably what I would do. But it's not cut and dry. Still a lot of question marks. And the result of this game is frustrating. Because, again, let's talk about the power play. I know they get the power play goal that Forster scores. But too often, this team's power play looks powerless. The setups in the zone, I just don't. You need some things on your power play to be uniform. Like how you enter the zone. You have to have a couple options, but once you get into the zone, you set up this way. That needs to be uniform. And then you decide what the other team's giving you and how you're going to attack them, combined with what that team likes to do. Are they a team that pressures the puck really hard out high? Do they collapse more down low and prevent low to high plays? And then you can figure it out from there. But you have to have that uniform part. Get into the zone, get set up, get it to Michkov on the half wall. That's what you got to do. It seems like they get into the zone and then they're trying to figure that out. Like that part's got to be figured out. You have to simplify the simple parts so the complicated parts don't overwhelm you. And the power play is driving me freaking bananas lately. It was good in the beginning of the season. They do not have a power play that should be clicking at like 16, 17%. They've got better players than that. They've got to figure this out. And I don't know if it's a lack of consistency in deployment of who's out there. I don't know what it is. I don't give a damn anymore. But this team would be a notch ahead of where they are right now if they could just find some consistency there. And again, I'm not going to say they lack talent to be able to do it. I'm tired of just being and complaining about this power play for 3 friggin' years. Let's figure it out. There's enough talent here. Travis Konechny is a really good offensive player. Matvei Mishkov sees the ice. We've got to figure this out. Because if you want to take a notch up, that part's got to be figured out. Now, the 5-on-5 play, you play more 5-on-5 than anything. I understand. But damn it, you need some more power play production. That would notch you up. So we'll see where that goes. It's driving me crazy, clearly, though, right now, because it's like lather, rinse, repeat. I just want it to elevate. I'm not asking it to be top 10 in the league. Click at 24, 26%. Just give me some consistency. And click at like 20%, 19%. Like this power play is being buoyed by what happened in the beginning of the year. Since then, the weird part about it, we were talking about this on the radio, on the pregame show with Bundy. Power play was good in the beginning of the year. Team wasn't winning. Power play stopped clicking. Team started winning. I can't figure this sport of hockey out. It makes no sense sometimes. But here we are. Flyers get back at it Saturday. You got Boston on Saturday. Slightly rejuvenated Bruins team at TD Garden, 1 o'clock. And then Sunday night, 7:30, it's going to be the Utah Hockey Club. And again, I have no idea how they're going to deploy the goaltenders. What would you do? You guys can always shoot me a note on Twitter at Jason Myrt, JASONMYRT. You can tweet me, DM me, shoot me an email, jason.myrtetus, MYRTETUS @gmail.com. I don't know. I guess I would go with Fedotov, but I think you can tell by the way I sound about it or the way I look that I'm not too resolute in that. I don't have a lot of conviction. It's not a hill I'd be willing to die on. That's for darn sure. All right, let's get to an email. I got this email right after the game from Aubrey. Aubrey said, hi, Jason. Hope you're feeling well. I wanted to talk a little about the Flyers. D, he said, what I continue to see is that the Flyers are having difficulty covering men in and clearing around the crease. I know that they can't go body anymore, but it seems like the D are getting out of position often and letting the offensive players behind them. On the positive note, we continue to see great passing from Mishkov, the magician, and it looks like Tippett has awakened. On the back end, I'm feeling more confident with the puck tracking and movement of Kolosov between the pipes and versus Fedotov. As a goalie, what are your thoughts? All right, let's take the first part. The first part is, look, I don't think they give up any more in front of the net than any other team does. The old days of the crease clearing D-man are gone. It's not how teams choose to defend anymore. Why is that? Well, because sticks and lanes are more important and being slightly higher is more important because so much of the offense in the NHL is generated off east-west play. Cross-ice passes, one-timers. Cross-ice pass, one-timer into traffic, rebounds, tips, deflections. That's why I think that is. Michkov, he's unbelievable. His first 3-point game. The dude is, he's a double butt player. He's a player that puts butts in seats and puts butts on the edge of seats when you're there. He's worth the price of admission. I'm blown away by his game. He's just got so much instinct and vision. He's one of those players that he makes plays and you can just tell the game. It's like his brain is a supercomputer and he's evaluating all the imaginations of what can happen. And he seems to pick the right one 99% of the time. Good game for Tippett. You hope that wakes him up. On the back end, as far as Kolosov and Fedotov, look, I told you, I'm not making any decisions till we get like 20 games in for each of these guys. They've played some really good games. Last night was not one of them for either guy. I thought they looked too nonchalant. They didn't look dialed in. Somebody's got to get dialed in for either Saturday or Sunday. That's that much I do know. Thanks for the note, Aubrey. All right, so Flyers Bruins coming up tomorrow. Flyers Utah Sunday. Bill Meltzer joining us for his weekly visit on Monday as well. So join us then on a brand new Flyers Daily.